Hello everyone and welcome to Arizona State Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I am Brett Vaughn, as the visiting number 9th ranked Minot State Beavers are coming in on the second game of a back-to-back here in Tempe, Arizona to take on the Sun Devils. Last night it was a tough one for Arizona State as Minot State blew the doors open with a 6-0 convincing win. And for Arizona State to turn the page tonight, I welcome in my partner, Niall Cooper. And now for Arizona State, they looked a little too slow in jumping to the puck and assessing the play.
They did. Arizona State, you're going up against a good team, and they knew that. Minot State came in, a big win over UNLV. They were already number 9 coming into the state of Arizona, and they came in state 48, and they took it to ASU right out of the gate, and the Sun Devils just really weren't ready for it. They weren't ready to skate. They weren't ready to work it into the corners enough, and it was just Minot State from beginning to end winning the battles.
Minot State did a very good job, especially paying attention to details in the defensive zone.
Yeah, they really paid attention to the small details, which is what it takes to win competitive games. And when you have a good team like Minot State that can beat you with skill or with hard work, and they're doing the little things right out of the gate, that puts a lot of pressure on the other team, that being Arizona State, to come out and match that. And they just couldn't last night, and kudos to Minot State for really coming out and executing the game plan.
Folks, we'll be underway in just a couple minutes here on Arizona State Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey, and we'll be back soon. Hello everyone and welcome back to Arizona State Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I men's ice hockey. And for tonight's starting goaltenders, for Minot State, it's going to be number 29, Holden Kurtz. Kurtz, 6'3", 190-pound native from Devils Lake, North Dakota, 11 games played with a 6-2 record. And for Arizona State, back in net from Friday, it's going to be Bronson Moore. Moore, age 15-1. Ended up losing a tight one against Jamestown by the score of 3-2 in overtime. And folks, we are just about underway here in Tempe on this Saturday matinee game. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Cross-ice pass from Hunter Long. We'll find Alexander Demon. Demon trying to force that pass through, cleared away by Dylan Johnson of the Beavers. Kurtz, is it for his defenseman, Neufeld. Minot State having a little bit of trouble in their own zone. Now it's finally being able to be carried out by Walrick. Adam Walrick on the left side, trying to find Sheldon, and he just couldn't handle the pass. Johnson salvaging it now, finds Davis Sheldon. Sheldon looking to the point, he elects for the shot, and that'll miss high. Bollifer jumps into the play from the defensive end and keeps the puck in. Minot State goes for a change on the fly. Alexander Demon on the second chance tries, able to clear it, but up into the Arizona State bench and out of play.
And Brett, there's some energy from Arizona State on that first shift. Granted, it was Minot State who came down the other direction and got their cycle going early. But for Arizona State, I thought that first shift, you could feel the energy from the bench, from the stands. They're certainly coming out trying to bring whatever they can right out of the gate.
Fournier with the shot on, and that'll be sticked away by Moore. Healy with it clear, but that'll go out only to the neutral zone. Going D to D, Killian elects for the side dump. Studioso tries to chop at it, but Geely looks like he made a little too much of early contact with Fournier. It's going to be a delayed penalty call. Bollifer couldn't keep the puck in as it hops over his stick. And Studioso finally touches up, and we'll have our first power play of the hockey game.
Yeah, that was Jake Geely coming in behind the play. He saw his defenseman was trying to get that puck and just slash it out of the zone as best as he could to alleviate the pressure. But with the referee staring right at you, to stick right in the lower back of the Minot State Beavers forward.
Joel Swedlow has it caught up in the skates of Klein, and Klein's going to elect to try to just pin it to the wall. Puck will pop out for Sischuk. Sischuk centers it in front. Guaidos across the crease, and Swedlow had the puck in his skates, and he couldn't pull the trigger. On the half wall, Sischuk trying to handle it. He gets it right back. Sischuk on the half wall. Circling back up to the point. Drop pass to Swedlow. Minute 20 left on this main advantage. Foreman at the point. Gets it right back. Couldn't handle as the puck hopped over his stick, and that'll allow Arizona State for a mini change on this penalty kill. Bollifer through the middle. No pressure. Bollifer with the wrist shot on. Moore gets a glove save on it, but couldn't handle the rebound. Guaidos. Backhands pass over to Swedlow, the assistant captain. Swedlow barking out orders, and the one-timer shot gets blocked away by Moore. Bollifer winds up and fires, and Moore is able to fight through the traffic and freeze it with 17:29 left in this first period.
Good save by Moore. He got tested early. Gaidos right in the slot with a quick one-timer, a good feed. I like the way the Beavers are moving the puck around. They're keeping the defenders for Arizona State on their toes. They're having to skate a lot. They're going to get tired, and that's going to allow chances for the Beavers.
Longy going D-to-D with Johnson. Johnson works it down low to Navarrete. Sheldon up to the point. Good puck movement by the Beavers. Seam pass across for Sheldon. The shot, and shot gets blocked by Navarrete, his own man in front. Navarrete trying to fight his way. Now cycles it back down for Metcalf. Sheldon now with it. 20 seconds left on the man advantage. Myers with the active stick, couldn't intercept the pass. Metcalf, tight turnaround. Trying to look for somebody in front. Nobody, so he elects to keep the puck. Up to Sheldon at the point. About 5 seconds now. Navarrete trying to force the pass through, and that hits the skates of Studioso and doesn't get through. Sun Devils have killed off the penalty, and now they're back to full strength. Pass goes out through the middle, but Minot State was finishing off a change, and they're at the regroup. Newfield coming in on the wrist shot, misses left. Sullivan whacking at it, and he chips it out into the neutral zone. Longy skates it back in his own zone as he's feeling pressure from Eric Cotton of Arizona State. Walchuk gains center ice. Cross ice pass to Lowe, but Robertson puts their line offside. And now for Arizona State on the penalty kill, they really kept the puck out to the perimeter.
They did. They took away all the good shooting lanes, you know, sub one chance that the Beavers had in the middle of the ice. And they really kept him at the edge. And anything that Bronson Moore had to deal with, he saw right out of the gate. They did a good job clearing out the shooting lanes. Nothing easy for the Beavers right now.
Callahan pops it out to the neutral zone. Demon has the intercepted puck up in the air, and he'll be able to collect it. Minot State really suffocating the Sun Devils so far in their own zone. Callahan picks up the loose pass. Stops behind his net, goes D-to-D with Kowalczyk. Kowalczyk trying to force up the boards, but it's blocked off by Fournier. Holston turns it over. Minot State again on the attack. Trying to center that in front was Bechtold, and that was blocked away by Kowalczyk. Demon couldn't find it, was loose in his skates. Arizona State tries to finish off a quick change, as does Minot. Guaidos, who scored a goal last night in the 6-0 win. Palumbo tries to clear it hard around the boards. Lester couldn't get it out of the blue line, and then it'll be gobbled up by Moore. In this first period, it's a 0-0 hockey game.
Yeah, and Brett, I think right now we got to tip the cap to Bronson Moore. He's had to make all of the saves in this game, as it's been the Beavers with another strong start on this matinee affair.
Buck still fighting for in the circle. Foreman winds up in shots, and that's sticked away by Moore. Elizadeh on the weak side. Forces it back up the other way. Kenneth Miller for Arizona State. Chip off the glass. Lester couldn't get the puck into the offensive zone. It's just stuck on that blue line, and they're going to have to tag up. Reese Foreman gives it away to Miller. D-to-D now to Adams. Adams trying to force that puck through. Klein dipsy-doodling in the neutral zone. He ends up coughing the puck up. Healy's trying to help out his line mate. Now it's Swedlow from Minot State on the snapshot. Saved by the chest of Moore.
And Brett, I think you nailed it. It was Minot State right from the very first up until right now. They're really making it hard for Arizona State. You see all three forecheckers on the few occasions where the Sun Devils have attempted to break out of their own zone. It's been Minot State activating their forwards and forcing the Sun Devils to have to make a good pass, and yet they have yet to do that.
John reads a pass in front. The redirection from Sheldon, saved by Moore. Puck will be cleared all the way down and for an icing call as the Sun Devils still on their heels. So win by Klein. Myers, he's able to get there in the offensive zone, but not with possession. Longy. Geely intercepts a pass. Geely trying to go the other way, but just couldn't get around Killian. Geely, persistent forecheck, gets the puck right back. Puts it in front. Myers trying to center that when it's blocked. Comes to Geely dangerously in front and floats over the net. Wowrick. Jack York steps up. Puck will be picked up by Davis Sheldon as he crosses his own blue line. Now to Johnson. Studioso with a poke check. Keeps the Beavers out in the neutral zone. Sullivan. Soft chip. Eric Cotton trying to establish the forecheck for Arizona State. Trying to disrupt. Johnson takes it back deeper in his own zone. Minot one-touch passing out of their own zone, but they finally cough it up to Jack York. York elects to just chip it in and go for a change. Under 13 minutes left in this first period, and it's 0-0. Navrat. Pearl trying to find it in his skates. Demon for Arizona State takes it back as the Sun Devils try to finish off a change. It's turned over at center ice. Navrat on his forehand. Navrat trying to get the shot through, and that's plucked up in the skates by Kowalczyk. Jet Larson taking the puck off the wall, pushing it through the neutral zone. It'll be played by the goaltender Kurtz. Leave it for his defenseman. Demon trying to strip Foreman off the puck. Still persisting. Levi Holston there as well for the Sun Devils. Now it'll be skated out by Bollifer. Bollifer across center ice. Trying to get around two Sun Devil players. Still has a puck. His pass intercepted by Jet Larson. Robertson coming off the bench for the Beavers. Now in the offensive zone. Tight turning around. Keeping the puck away from Adams. Walchuk finally settles that puck down and keeps it just in. Fournier pivoting around in the offensive zone. Cycles it back down to Walchuk. Robertson trying to fake out Adams, and he spins off of him. Now he's skating to the front of the net. Robertson trying to sneak it in short side. Moore is able to put a shoulder save on it. Working behind the net. Kenneth Miller on Robertson. Robertson again a tight turn. Robertson working it over to the weak side. Fournier's able to win to the puck. Race first. Now in the corner. Minot State changing on the fly. Already at least a minute in the offensive zone now.
Yeah, the Beavers really giving it to the Sun Devils after what I thought was maybe the Sun Devils' best shift of the game. Really giving the forecheck right back to the Beavers. It's competitive. I like it.
Killian trying to look for that redirection in front from Walchuk, but Miller pushes him down, and he doesn't get good wood on that deflection. Killian blows a tire in the middle of the ice, but gets bailed out by his partner, Longy. Haven't had a whistle in a couple minutes so far in this hockey game. Now it's Swedlow. Swedlow cutting through the middle, and they end up going offside. Looks like the referee might be calling looks like it's going to be a possible penalty on Swedlow. I think he took the shot right after the whistle.
Yeah, that's going to be an unsportsmanlike, Brett. You know in hockey you can't do that. It's definitely considered a faux pas to go in behind the play and put it in the goal. A little bit disrespectful. We know the hockey community. It's a little more on the conservative old school side, and that's something that you should know if you're playing at this level you can't do. And the Sun Devils did a good job bending but not breaking, and now they get a chance coming back their way on the power play. Up to the top of the point, won by the Sun Devils. Studioso has to play that one quick to get away from low in order to not turn it over at the blue line. Kowalczyk couldn't settle that puck down. Could be a 2-on-1 opportunity. Sischuk trying to get around Kowalczyk. Sischuk getting harassed by him. Kowalczyk's finally able to get the puck off of him. Under 10 minutes left in this first period. Studioso pushes the puck up himself. Jack York drops it back down for Studioso. Studioso cross-ice pass out of the reach of Kowalczyk. York up to the point. Kowalczyk trying to find a shooting lane through, and that wrist shot gets blocked up by the stick of Fournier and out of play. And Brett, we've seen it when the Sun Devil power play is at its best. They're getting point shots and they're getting people in front of the net, screening the eyes of the goaltender, and getting those second and third opportunities. The Sun Devils aren't going to get very many goals past a team like Minot State with a quick shot from the slot. It's going to take some hard work down low and getting into the gritty areas. About 63 seconds left on this man advantage opportunity for the Sun Devils, their first power play of the game. Demon, the pass in his skates. Couldn't have control of it. Johnson for Minot State, he produces the turnover. Now Minot State's going to play a little keep away and finally clear it all the way down. Adams slows it down behind his net as the Sun Devils are trying to go for a controlled regroup. He now comes out with it, waiting for the pressure. He kicks it out to Jet Larson. Larson plays it down in the corner to Holston. Gets it right back.
Jet couldn't get the trigger pulled as it was a stick of ball if we're able to lift it. Moore with the head-up pass. Demon couldn't control the pass, though, and it turns it right over to Minot State. And that'll do for the Swedlow 2-minute unsportsmanlike minor. Jet Larson through the middle, asks for the wrist shot on, and he misses. Tree is trying to go blocker side. Hurl trying to get it through. Jack York coming off the bench, and the wrist shot on. Couldn't get enough mustard on it, and that'll miss wide. Killian works it up the other side. Aaron pass, he couldn't put it on the line to Robertson. Another pass from Miller, and that pass is hobbled up in the air and ends up going all the way down for an icing call.
Not a lot of good chances, Brett. Good defensive sticks on the Minot State side of things. And you can see why they're doing so well. That Oxy-Pow power play for the Sun Devils was lacking quite a bit of pow. Right now it's 7-3, the shot advantage to Minot State, and you can definitely feel it. They're getting a lot of good work done down low, and the Sun Devils are really struggling to just get out of their zone.
And they score! First winning the draw in the offensive zone, and sitting right in front to get the tap in was Adam Wowrick, and it's a 1-0 Beavers lead.
And Brett, for the Arizona State team, that was the Eric Cotton line out on the ice. And it's a shame because they had a good shift earlier in the game. They were applying pressure. The forecheck was gaining on the Beavers. And that's just a set play off the draw right here. The Beavers win it. They kick it out to their man in the slot. They get a quick deflection right in front of the net. Nothing Bronson Moore can do about that. When it's getting deflected in the blue paint right in front of you, it's kind of hard to make a reaction save. And just a good job by Minot. Getting in, winning the small battles, doing the fine details correctly, just like you mentioned in the pregame. And they're up 1-0.
Puck almost turned over again by Callahan. He gets it right back. Hard chip off the wall, intercepted by Sheldon. Sheldon, a toe drag around one player. Sheldon sells a puck, trying to center that in front. Whacking at it was Wowrick, and he couldn't get there. Walchuk, with some puck pursuit, has the puck, and then he puts on a snapshot and handcuffed Moore. Walchuk, trying to center that in front. Plumbo whacking at it. Arizona State running around a little bit in their own end. In the corner, Sheldon trying to, with a tight turnaround, trying to get around. Unable to on Palumbo. Walchuk dumps it back in, and he'll elect to go for the change. Elizade goes for a change. It looks like a little bit of energy has come over to Minot State's side after that goal. Drew Carter protects the puck on the kick plate. Now to Fournier. Fournier on his backhand, trying to cut through the middle and get a backhand shot on, blocked away by Studioso. Carter behind the net in Gretzky's office. Nice move around Klein, but he's staying to the outside on the perimeter. Carter, backhand pass, and the shot from Bechtold gets blocked. Fournier. Fournier trying to find it. He's getting smushed up against the board. Studioso with the hard stiff arm throws down Bechtold. And that'll allow Arizona State to go for a breakout. Klein cutting through the middle. Klein with the wrist shot on, trying to look for that rebound. The goaltender doesn't know where it is, and Kurtz finally is able to just sit on the puck and get the whistle from the referee.
John Studioso, he might not have the biggest bark, Brett, but he has a heck of a bite as he came in on the much bigger Fournier and delivered a nice big check. The first sign of life on the Sun Devil side of the ice, and like you mentioned, tilted right now in the Minot State side for sure after that early goal and the pressure that they've just kept applying.
Demon threw that in front. Holston had a good couple whacks at it, but just couldn't get it to go. Demon, tight turn, gets pinned by Guaidos. Turned over again, though. Arizona State just couldn't get control of it, and Minot State elects to chip it out. Demon, back in the offensive zone. Demon couldn't get around Walchuk. Swedlow, out of his own zone, he finds Guaidos coming through with speed. Guaidos coming in, but it was a little too eager from Sischuk. And a possible good opportunity in the offensive zone for the Beavers ends with an offsides.
Yeah, it goes begging, and I think a pattern we're starting to see with the Minot State attack is they're trying to get it in the offensive zone when they're coming on the break. And you see, once the puck carrier gets in, he'll kind of slow up a little bit, pause near the top, and wait for his forward to come in, make that net front drive, and that forces the D back. That gets a screen in front of Bronson Moore, and that allows options. Either cut in and get the shot, throw in front and get the deflection like the one they scored on the set play. And right now, that's the bread and butter for Minot State, and they're going to it back and again and again.
Draw to the left of the goaltender, Kurtz, and Klein won the draw forward, and Kurtz was alert and was able to put the paddle down. York at the point, trying to get the wrist shot off, and that's blocked away again by Metcalf this time. Behind the net, Klein trying to send that one. He takes it himself, and he scores! Calvin Klein with those fancy moves, and it's 1-1. Gavin Klein elects to take the puck himself as he is able to get the puck off the draw behind the net. And it was just a shot, just roofed it on the goaltender Kurtz on the backhand side, and we're tied.
And Brett, a great individual effort by Gavin Klein. Going to the backhand, you don't see it too often, but it's really a great tool when utilized, because for the goaltender, they don't know how that puck's going to be coming off the backhand. He quickly shovels it in, goes short side. They don't ask how pretty, they just ask how many, and that's the first one of the night for the Sun Devils.
Beavers, Foreman jumping up in the attack, gets the clap bomb off, and that'll be kicked away by Moore. Minot State trying to resurrect their 1-goal lead back. Demon, area pass to himself. With the rim, hits one of the stanchions, takes a weird hop. Kept in by the defenseman, Bollifer. Minot State still with the puck in the offensive zone. Trying to center that pass through, and that'll get blocked away by an Arizona State stick. Sheldon at the point, wrist shot on, gets a redirection that time from Wowrick, and Moore is finally able to cover up the rebound. And we'll have a little bit of fisticuffs after. Again, now what you were alluding to earlier in the period, Arizona State, again, it looked like for the first half of this first period, were really back on their heels, but they did just enough, and then they were able to finally capitalize and tie the game here in this first period.
They were. I think for the Sun Devils, it's really a case of mind over matter, because when they're skating and forechecking, they can give it to Minot State just about as hard as Minot State can give it back to them. And the Sun Devils, they're not going to be the most skilled group. You know, they're not going to come out and wow you with some all-star caliber moves. But when they're moving their feet and they're working as a unit on the ice, they can accomplish quite a lot. And I think that little bit of confidence from that goal might start to build something.
After that meeting behind the net, after the whistle on the previous play, looked like it was coincidental minors to both teams. And we're going to be having 4-on-4 hockey. Bollifer with a tight turn. Couldn't connect with the defenseman Longy. Hero dumps it all the way back down 200 feet, and Arizona State goes for a change. Swedlow couldn't get around Klein. Klein has the puck. Could be a 3-on-2 opportunity. Klein with the wrist shot on. Kurtz was there to make the save as he read his angles correct. And we'll have a stoppage in play with 2:55 remaining in this first period.
We've already seen a handful of guys blow a tire so far in this first period. And we might not have caught it, but during the pregame skate for the Beavers, one of their players lost his edge and went down in the corner and had a laugh at the expense of himself with the rest of the team as Minot State was enjoying that. The quality of the ice not too great right now.
The hard work from Gavin Klein is able to produce a delayed penalty call in favor of the Sun Devils. The flip pass for Geely. He gets there first, but it finally gets touched up by a Beaver player.
And I think you saw the quality of the ice right there, Brett. A quick, tight turn by the Sun Devil player, and that forced the Minot State forward. Either he was going to get beat, and it was going to be a 3-on-2 the other way, or he's going to take a hooking penalty and hope the referee doesn't see it. He opts to get the stick in there, and he gets called. And Arizona State with another power play opportunity, but the first one, they didn't generate a lot of good chances. This one, I think there's a chance for a different dynamic given the fact that we're going to start with 4-on-3.
We'll have a 4-on-3 power play, and we're going to have it for about 38 seconds until both of those men come out of the box on those coincidental minor calls. Kowalczyk up on the right side to York. York gains the zone. Backhand behind the back pass over to Kowalczyk. Goes D-to-D with Klein. Kowalczyk looking for the one-timer, doesn't get it. Klein with the one-timer shot now, right in front. It's still loose in front. Oh, and I don't know how the puck went in, just walking a tight line across the goal line. Kurtz, the goaltender, without his stick. Holston protecting that puck around Bollifer. Up to the point, Kowalczyk. Kowalczyk. One-timer shot again, and that was a sprawling block by Austin Killian. Both teams are back. The Sun Devils now have a 5-on-4 power play. Klein trying to keep that puck in on the left side. And with the hard work of Lowe, ends up coming to the neutral zone. Puck almost intercepted by a Beavers player. Cleared down by Foreman. Kowalczyk gloves it down to his stick. Jet Larson trying to croquet that pass over to Jake Ewing, just out of the reach of him. Under 50 seconds left on this man advantage. Klein plays it back down to Studioso. Now to Jet Larson. Coming from right to left. Larson, a blind pass, gets intercepted by Lowe. Arizona State has to regroup. Foreman fakes a slap shot clear. Under 60 seconds remaining in this first period. Geely finds it, throws it right in front. Demon's redirection misses. Comes right out in front again. Geely scores! Arizona State bringing a lot more hustle, especially on this power play. They're able to win races to the puck, and Geely was rewarded. And it's now a 2-1 Arizona State lead.
And Brett, I told you there was something in the air going into that power play opportunity. The Sun Devils using the extra ice early to open up some chances, get some good shots. I don't know how that first one didn't go in when it tight-roped the goal line. And that second chance opportunity, traffic in front of the net, the goalie doesn't see the puck, and it just finds a hole. Good work by the Sun Devils, impressive work, and they have a 2-1 lead late in the first.
Jake Ely, not much of a goal scorer, only his third of the season. But the reason why head coach Jake Green puts him out there on these man advantage opportunities is because of his relentless puck retrieval. Draws in the Arizona State zone. It'll find Navrat. Navrat couldn't get a handle on it, though. Killian on the second chance. Now the Beavers come in low. Low with the wrist shot on. Rebound still in front. Navrat tries to get there. He's unable to. Cotton comes to Arizona State. Couldn't get it out. Navrat. Wrist opportunity. Rebound in front. And it's in! Rhett Lowe is able to find the rebound and just trickle it over the goal line. And with only 8 seconds left in the period, the Beavers tie it up at 2.
And Brett, that's a tough one to take it for the Sun Devils. 8.1 left on the clock, and they surrender that tying goal. If we said it once, we'll say it again. Traffic in front of the net, second and third opportunity chances. And the Beavers just whacked away at that one. It didn't get in by much, but it got in just enough to count.
And the puck pops up after Miller's trying to clear it on net. And that'll be the end of our first period. For Arizona State, unfortunately, it looked like they were going to come out of that 20 minutes with the lead in hand. But for them, they were just a little bit napping, as we saw in previous games earlier this season, of really playing and focusing on those first and last minutes of the period.
Yeah, and I would classify it a little less napping and more just kind of expecting Minot State to bring it to them. You know, they were ready to be on the receiving end of that Minot State forecheck and cycle down low that they've patented, and used to so much success this year. And when Minot State saw that opportunity, they took it early, but good on the Sun Devils. They came back. They could have rolled over an early first period goal at home, third game in 3 nights. I should say 3 afternoons. And they came back. Bronson Moore made a few big saves. You know, the 2 that he let in were really tough. That last one that we just saw, third chance opportunity, whacked away in front, just sneaks over his pad. The other one, a redirection in front. So, you know, it's just a case of getting good defensive sticks and clearing out your guys and staying on top of your assignments. But overall, good for Arizona State to come out of this 2-2 and get 2 goals past the Beavers. That's not something many teams can say they've done after 20 minutes.
Folks, thank you so much for all 84 of you tuning in for today's game. And please make sure to come back in just about 15 minutes for live second period of action. At the end of 1 period, it's Minot State 2, Arizona State 2. This is Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Arizona State Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I am Brett Vaughn alongside my partner, Niall Cooper, and we were treated to an ultra-competitive first period. There is some different lead changes with Minot State coming out to the lead first, scoring pretty early in the period, and then it was 2 goals from Arizona State were then countered by a goal with only 8 seconds left from Rhett Lowe from Minot State to have this game knotted up at 2. And Niall, for Arizona State, I think they're looking at a little more competitive and have a little more hustle to their game tonight.
They do. They're really bringing the hustle, and it took a little while for them to kind of get the confidence and come out of their shell and realize that they can play with this Minot State squad. But once they started skating with them, you could tell right away that Arizona State has a chance.
Roberts in the offensive zone. Wowrick was trying to go for the blind backhanded pass, couldn't connect. Wowrick trying to use the net as a little kickboard on there and unable to get the puck. Adams gets pinned to the boards. Donovan Myers finds the weak side defenseman Miller. Miller fans on the dump. Out of the reach of Klein. Donovan Myers chips that in. Foreman just puts it up in his skates, tries to protect the puck. Stick lifted, now Gavin Klein. Geely up in the corner. Myers couldn't get a grip on it, gets taken away. Coming in was Davis Sheldon, and Sheldon ended up falling to his feet on this slick, wet surface here at Oceanside after the Zamboni cut it. Bronson Moore behind his net to Myers. Myers gets the puck away by Bechtold. Gets a second opportunity, couldn't get it out. Killian from the point, and they score! Just a wicked wrist shot from Killian. And a beautiful tip by Drew Carter goes upstairs, and no chance for Bronson Moore. And it's 3-2 Minot State.
Yeah, Brett, the Kelowna, BC native with a beautiful deflection in front of the net. A wicked wrister it certainly was. And he did a good job getting in front of that puck. And, you know, it's just like the San Jose Sharks captain Joe Pavelski said recently, he'd rather be tipping a puck in front than trying to hit a golf ball. And while my golf game's certainly better than my hockey game, you have to appreciate the tip from Drew Carter in front as he painted that one perfectly into the corner of the iron. You could hear it all the way up here, and that's a big goal for Minot State, really taking the wind out of the sails of Arizona State.
Holston has to be careful with the puck right in front of the net of Moore. York gets it taken away. Swedlow working hard for it. Moore couldn't get a handle on the puck. Puck still alive. Jet Larson will skate it out for Arizona State. Larson retrieves a puck in his own zone. Centers it in front, but the defenseman was going for a change, and no one was there. Swedlow centers it in front, and the shot. Estudioso gets there just in time to deflect the puck up. Says Chuck. Cross-ice dump, forces Moore to come out of his net and play to his defensive partner, York. Sullivan, puck goes under his stick. Ends up hitting a Minot State player in the zone as they were offside, and will have a whistle. Metcalf couldn't chip the puck in as it was sealed off by Kowalchuk. Miller, Arizona State, works it from side to side. Sullivan turns back in the neutral zone. Now to Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk gets his seam pass to Miller, intercepted by Johnson. Long, he tries to force it through. Turnover. Hurl with the shot on, misses high on the snapshot. And it ends up sitting on the netting. And we end up having a whistle in play, and Hurl with just a beautiful pass as he intercepted it right in the middle of the slot where you'd want it to be as a goal scorer.
Yeah, absolutely splitting hairs with that shot right in the middle of the slot. That's exactly where you'd want it. Prime time, grade A opportunity, and he just whistled it over the post a couple inches lower, and we might be in another tie hockey game.
Johnson, tight turnaround. Intercepted by Palumbo. Kowalchuk walks the line. Elizabeth just couldn't get a tip on the wrist shot from Kowalchuk. Palumbo. Couldn't find it. Lester dumps it back down. Sheldon gets hit. Palumbo up to the point. Miller, quick shot on. Dangerously thrown in front, just couldn't get a tip. Minot State with the 2-on-1. Sheldon and Wowrick. Sheldon on the right side. And a beautiful pass block by Miller. Still loose, so Sheldon centers it again. No one there. Wowrick gets his shot back in, deflected off the skate of Elizabeth as Arizona State goes for a change. Miller with the big hit, stands up Sheldon at the blue line. Foreman dumps the puck in. Leaving it behind his net is Moore. Kowalchuk waiting Arizona State to finish a change. Miller. Indirect pass gets intercepted by Carter. Klein trying to make the turnaround, and Fournier with hot retrieval able to keep the puck outside. We're going to be having a penalty behind the plane. It's going to be a cross-checking penalty to number 5, Zachary Kowalchuk.
Trying to establish that physical presence, the Arizona State captain just getting a little bit over-aggressive. Crosses that line, and the Sun Devils are going to be on an important penalty kill here after a good start to the second period, minus the 1 goal they gave up.
Bollifer puts it down low. Now to Guedos. Guedos, the half wall, finds Suelo. They pass it back and forth. York with an active stick, trying to keep them at bay. Quick touch passing. The shot on from Killian on the wrist shot. Had enough power, but just not the accuracy. Studioso, he gets the puck taken away from him as he was trying to clear. It's kept in by the Beavers. Swedlow. Again, working it now up top to Killian. Down low, the one-timer shot, and that gets blocked by kneeling Studioso in the leg. Jed Larson gets his stick lifted, and Bollifer now going the other way. Bolliver drops it versus Chuck. Says Chuck with a short angle shot. Ended up making a save off of his head was Moore. Jet for the second time trying to win that race to the puck. He's not able to. Bollifer takes a hit and throws down York. Now it's a 4-on-1. Sheldon back over. It's still loose in front, and they score! Arizona State with a poor, timely change. Studioso was all by himself defending 4 Beavers players, and Minot State takes the lead 4-2.
And we got to give Bronson-Moore an A for effort stopping that first chance. A 3-on-1, it's not something you want to see coming your direction if you're the Sun Devil goaltender. And we saw York right in front of the Arizona State bench try to deliver a hit, ended up being on the receiving end of that one. And it looked like as the Sun Devils were going for a change, they just got a little caught up in the shenanigans going on in front of the bench, and the Beavers had no problem at all with that as they went the other way and executed a very good 3-on-1, pardon me. And they reopened that lead up to 2 goals.
Dylan Adams for Arizona State. Aaron D-to-D pass, and he throws down Bechtold after Bechtold was trying to retrieve that loose puck. Drew Carter with a soft chip in. Gavin Klein gonna have to negotiate the check of Fournier. Fournier now has it. A kick pass to Bechtold. Bechtold out in front on his forehand. And that sliding shot will go through the crease. Bechtold. Stick lifted by Dylan Adams. Now Arizona State on the attack. Donovan Myers chips it in on the backhand. Healy couldn't get there as Longy looking for the stretch pass. Kowalchuk just does enough to get it out. Kowalchuk had a great opportunity, but the puck hopped up over his stick. Kowalchuk fakes a pass, throws it back to Studioso. Stretch pass for Lester, he's behind the defense. Lester backhand shot, saved by Holden Kurtz. Robertson, wrist shot on, blocked away by the stick of Kowalchuk, and the rebound frozen by Moore.
And Brett, up to this point, he hasn't had to see much. But Kurtz with a huge timely save for the Beavers as they had all the momentum going their way. And I think that right now has to be our Devil's Advocate Bar and Grill save of the game, a very key one, as Arizona State didn't have a lot going for them and just managed to kind of turn nothing into something. It was a great breakout pass as Lester just snuck in right behind that defense on the blue line, dragged the foot, got in on sides. He tried to go forehand, backhand on him. Maybe needed a little more Charlie Conway. A triple deke might have done the trick, but it's still 4-2.
Or my favorite, Luis Mendoza, and just going straight into the goalie. Face-off won by Lowe. The clap bomb from Foreman, that's saved by Moore. And the referees during that skirmish after that save from Moore ends up being a coincidental minor call again, and so we'll have 4-on-4 action for the second time in this hockey game. Draw one again by the Beavers. Wrist shot on. Puck still loose in front. Levi Holston's able to pick it up. Holston on his forehand. Trying to get around two Beavers players, unable to. Foreman couldn't get his head up, or else he had Rhett Lowe streaking in behind the defense. Studioso, tape to Demon. Now to Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk on the left side. Looking, button hooks up. Now to Demon. Demon with the wrist shot on. Saved by Kurtz. I'm not sure if Demon if he had his head up, he would have recognized it was a 2-on-1 opportunity off that nice play from Kowalchuk.
Yeah, and I think like anything, that communication's a two-way street for Arizona State. Jack York, he was the third man coming in. Klein was tied up right in front of the net. He was in the prime spot, but the defenseman had been covered. It was Jack York. He crept in from the blue line wide open. If he would have called for that and got the pass from Demon, it would have been an empty 4x6 to pot it home in.
Geely, smaller Geely, gets pinned by Bollifer. Davis Sheldon. Nice fancy moves out of his own zone. Now over to Killian. Killian. Now Navrod. Navrod tries to center that in front, taken away by Klein. Now with about 12 minutes left in this second period, it's 4-2 Minot State. Sheldon railroads Miller to the ground. Going the other way is Navrod. Navrod with the wrist shot on, and he scores. Navrod with a toe drag, able to just delay and get more off of his left post and able to sneak it in on the glove side.
And Brett, I think that's what you would call adding injury to insult, or maybe vice versa. I don't know. That was a big check in the neutral zone by the Beavers, and they go right back the other way. A great snipe short side. It looked like Bronson Moore had the angle completely covered. Maybe enough room to fit a cookie in there, and that's exactly where the shot was picked.
Arizona State back in hot pursuit. Jet Larson up to the point. Kowalchuk didn't have a shooting lane, so he elects to throw it back down. Sullivan moves it over to Jet Larson. Larson around two Beavers players, but he just couldn't get a good handle on the puck to shoot it. Sullivan, he has it dekes around. Swedlow's stick's able to block the pass. Jack Callahan for Arizona State forces up the weak side and turns it over. Both teams now are back to 5-on-5 play. And it looks like Levi Holston was a little too eager to come off the bench and played it before the man coming out of the box was on the bench. And now Arizona State's going to have to serve a too many men call.
Yeah, and I believe that was Longy for the Beavers. A good job breaking it out. He saw the man was coming out of the bench. You know that's an opportunity when they're trying to get the quick change the Sun Devils were. If you can throw it towards the bench, get it into the skates of one of the players that's getting off while someone else has already jumped on, the referee most of the time is going to call that, even though it's a little ticky-tacky by the book. That's 6 guys on the ice, 6 guys playing the puck. And even though head coach Tate Green tried his best to pursue the referee and make a case, it's going to be a power play for the Beavers, and they're going to try to add to their 3-goal lead now.
So it'll be Sheldon and Palumbo on the Arizona State end. Thrown by Palumbo, but it came in front, and Metcalf wanted his stick at it, but it popped over the net. Johnson on the left side. Longy was just able to do just enough to get it to Swedlow. Longy trying to handle that puck down, a little tough right now. The one-timer shot from Johnson, and Moore's able to fight to the right post and make the save. Johnson at the point again, faking the shot. Down low, a sprawling block by Adams, keeps him at bay. Johnson with the clap bomb again and blockered away by Moore. Metcalf goes down the ice. Lester does just enough to fork it out of the zone and will allow Arizona State to possibly change one or two men.
Great save by Bronson Moore. A clap bomb coming right down Main Street into his kitchen, and he does a great job reading that blocker side, making a big save early on this PK.
This is Chuck. This is Chuck with the wrister blocked away on the shin pad of Miller. Arizona State trying to go for an offensive opportunity. Klein's pass intercepted by Bollifer. Regrouping now, going into the offensive zone. Moore able to collect a slow roller and get that whistle that allows his defenseman to go for a change. Beavers again controlling in the offensive zone at the point. Bollifer walking the line. Now this is Chuck. Down low trying to center that in front. And a pass blocked by Studioso. Guedos behind the back pass. Ball for the wrist shot on. Took a couple deflections but didn't make it all the way to Moore. Guedos on his forehand side. Switching positions. Now he'll elect to go the other side of the ice. Says Chuck. Up to the point to Killian. Killian down low in the corner. Says Chuck right in front. And he couldn't get any good wood on that. Killian, penalty almost about to expire. Right in front. Swedlow gets his pass intercepted. Bollifer now with the shot, and it rolls around, and Moore kicks it to the corner. Studioso throw down one of his men. Trying to get that puck out. Levi Holston works it out the weak side. Flip. Dump goes into the neutral zone. Allows Arizona State to change a few personnel. The reverse pass gets stuck on the boards and taken away by Fournier. Behind the net. Trying to walk out with his Bechtold up to the point, and the shot through, and Moore is able to be aggressive with his glove hand and snatch it with 8:42 left in the second period.
And I like that simultaneous kickstarting the Harley / slap shot from the point by the 108 Mile Ranch native Reese Foreman.
Foreman again with the wrist shot on. That ends up getting tipped up into the netting and out of play.
Foreman certainly an imposing presence on that back line for the Beavers, clocking in at a cool 6'3", 240 pounds. He's going to be quite a handle for anybody to deal with. And the Sun Devils, you've seen them against these big defensemen for the Beavers. They've got a meaty squad, and they've been using that to dominate the boards so far in this game, and especially in the second period as they've really taken over.
Neufeld has to hustle back, trying to give it over to Foreman. Puck hops out in front, and Larson with the shot on the one-timer, and Kurtz was able to be alert and ready. Larson trying to center that through, and that'll pop out to Carter. Behind the back, though, of Bechtold. They'll now be coming out of the zone as Fournier, but they're offside.
Once again, we see Minot State going right back. They might have been offsides, but it was Fournier coming in. Carter making that net front drive. You saw him get in back behind Jack York. And it's been a recipe for success. In fact, it's been so successful. If I was the Sun Devils, I would want to see them doing the same thing. Get a net front drive. Take somebody in front of net. Put him right in front of Kurtz. And force the goaltender to have to make a difficult save. But first, they're going to have to win a couple battles and get the puck.
Johnson. Ball pass to Walchuk. Walchuk gets a puck taken away by a back-checking Eric Cotton. Walchuk with a diving athletic play keeps the puck in, and they're onside still. Wowrick is trying to cycle it back down, and he gets the puck right back. Now a 2-on-1 opportunity for the Beavers, and the shot high, and Moore is able to just hug the post in time. 3-on-2 the other way. Studioso slowly making his way in the wrist shot on. Kurtz is able to track that, and he plays it right away to avoid a whistle. Walchuk dumps the puck in as Minot State goes for a wholesale change. Stretch pass. Lester, a little too hot to handle, is able to take it in the zone low, protecting the puck at the blue line. Throws it back down, but it's taken away. Beautiful pass, finds Navrat from Bolifer, and the shot is a stick save made by Moore. A great heads-up play by Bolifer, the defenseman, with the indirect pass to find Navrat. Draw one again. Killian with the wrist shot on. Pops over the net. Had a possible chance of just rolling in off the back of Moore. Beavers again. Metcalf in the slot. Metcalf dancing around. Poked away by Kowalczyk. Bolifer at the point. Throws it down low to Navrat. Plumbo there trying to take the puck off of him. He's unable to. Low. Low with a tight turn. Goes back down the corner. Trying to make his way to the middle of the ice to Navrat. Up to the point. Killian, the wrist shot on. And that doesn't get a deflection. Metcalf. Protecting the puck away from Hunter Long. Metcalf. Can't shake Hunter Long. Ends up giving it to Navrat. But we're going to have a whistle. Looks like a little too aggressive in front of the Beavers. Was Rhett low, and the faceoff's going to be outside of the zone. It's a 5-2 Minot State lead here at Oceanside Ice Arena for this Friday match. Reversing it back the other way. Now finds Donovan Myers. Myers. Keeley through the middle. Myers crashing the net. Rebound in front. Kurtz had a little trouble with it, but was able to collect the rebound as no Sun Devils were there.
And Brett, on one hand, I love Donovan Myers getting the puck through the neutral zone and then going straight to the front of the net. Unfortunately, it was a flyby for him. He didn't stay in front of the net. If he stays parked right there and that rebound happens to kick out because the goaltender can't quite see the save and get a clean glove on it, all of a sudden he has a chance to put home a rebound.
Keeley working hard to get that puck. York turns it over at the blue line. Could be a 3-on-2. This is Chuck. Chuck going to get a handle on it with the wanding stick from Studioso. Fan pass by Swedlow gets intercepted. Studioso leading the charge. On the left side, drops it for York. York couldn't get that shot through as it was blocked by Swedlow. Trying to find it. Klein couldn't get it. That puck's really not settling down for any of the Sun Devils on this shift. Geely trying to go for a change, ends up getting the puck instead. But he couldn't clear it all the way down, but he goes to the bench. Will now be picked up by Fournier. Fournier stops and shoots. Misses a little too high. Opportunity for Arizona State, though. Demon. A little too aggressive of a pass, but icing's waved offside. Johnson. Johnson pass to Fournier, but he gets a weak shot on, and Moore's able to cover it up. With 4:17 left in this second period, it's a 5-2 Minot lead.
And Jet Larson on that back check, getting his stick into a good spot to deny the chance as Minot State got in across the blue line with numbers, or just about did. At the other end of the ice, Demon was trying to spring Holston on a 2-on-1, and as Holston was looking to receive the pass, Demon was still trying to find it, and then he fired it right behind Holston. Otherwise, the Sun Devils might have had a 2-on-1.
Sheldon walking in front, and the blocker's thrown up high near his head by Moore. Touching around is Wowrick. Again, Robertson, Adams side checks him into the boards. Out of the reach of Demon. Kept in by Longy. Minot State again producing some zone time in the offensive zone. Played out in front, and Robertson just couldn't get the shot on as the pass was in his skates. Plays back up. Wowrick trying to go upstairs. Got a little too much loft on the shot. Longy couldn't keep the puck in, and he's out in the neutral zone. Jet Larson's able to intercept the pass. Arizona State trying to go for a change. They've been pinned up in their offensive in the defensive zone for a long time. Metcalf trying to get a step on Kowalchuk and trying to go through him, but Kowalchuk with an active stiff reads the deke. Sullivan. Blind pass gets turned over by Longy. Longy gains the center ice line. Moore stops it behind his net. Rimmed back around again. Killian gloves it down. Over to Metcalf. Kowalchuk. Out of the reach of his defensive partner, Miller. Now comes on the half wall to Cotton, and Cotton's dump gets redirected up into the netting and out of play. Minot State again having some pent-up zone time in the offensive zone. Draw's going to be outside. Geely wins it forward. He was trying to find Klein. Klein trying to lift the stick of Killian. Minot State does just enough to get it to the neutral zone. Bollifer. Bollifer trying to find it. Headmans it up to Navarrete. Navarrete with the shot on rebound in front, bouncing around in front. Myers couldn't get the puck out. York tries on the second chance, unable to. Low down to Navarrete. Navarrete working hard on the boards. York's able to steal that one off of him, but the puck is controlled by the Beavers in the neutral zone and dumped back in. York trying to find a passing option. Unable to. Now gives it to Studioso. Studioso trying to look for that tip from Geely. Guaidos in his own end. Flips it out, and Studioso collects it and dumps it back in, and Arizona State finishes off a change. On the right side, Joel Swedlow. Swedlow can't go in deep by Kowalchuk. Puck's pinned up against the kick plate. Palumbo able to do just enough to clear it. 1:20 left in the second period. It's a 5-2 Beavers lead. Chuck wheeling around in his own zone. Saucer pass gets intercepted by Palumbo. Arizona State hasn't been able to really have any sustained offensive zone time in the past couple minutes. Puck will find Moore. Moore gets up and plays it himself. Kowalchuk to Demon. Demon is sealed off in the neutral zone. Puck picked up by Reese Foreman. Foreman cutting through the middle, and he goes in to try to retrieve his own puck, pinning Kowalchuk. Palumbo losing his feet, ends up just slamming it up against the boards. Trying to find in the corner, and that pass on the seam pass was not there for Minot State. About 30 seconds left now in the second period. Getting rid of the boards hard was Larson. Foreman to Fournier. Fournier is able to stiff arm Kowalchuk, but he does so with the penalty being called against him.
And that's 2 penalties drawn this period by the captain, Kowalchuk, as he's been playing a hard physical game on defense, really giving it to the Beavers. You can tell they're not too happy. You'd like to see the Sun Devils do something with these power play opportunities that they're earning. But it almost seems that the Beavers have an extra man on the ice every time the Sun Devils start to get to work, whether it be the neutral zone, offensive, defensive zone. The Beavers are just going out there and winning every single battle. And it's going to take Arizona State something deep they're really going to have to find themselves and get themselves into this game. It's certainly not going to get handed to them on any sort of a silver platter by the Beavers.
Quick shot on from York, and the rebound's cleared away by Foreman, but not out. Studioso, DD with Kowalchuk. Touch passing, Geely couldn't corral the puck, and Guedos will be able to intercept, and the period will expire. Well, coming into this second period, it was 2-2 as it stood. And Minot State with 3 goals in this second period, really trying to put their stamp on this.
They have. They put quite the stamp on this game, and we're only through 2 periods. They're almost up to 40 shots on goal through 2 periods. That's almost unprecedented. And that just goes to show you 2 things. One, that Minot State hasn't let up at all, especially after that first period. A bit of a wake-up call as they're a high-flying team expected to go in and make some noise at Nationals, playing against the injured Sun Devils, who are really trying to just come along and just make a few things happen positively. And the Beavers really dominated that second period. I mean, in all phases of the ice, the defensive sticks in front of the net, if ASU had a chance, they would instantly clear it out, and they'd make that perfect breakout pass to alleviate the pressure and force Arizona State to have to turn around and get on their horses and play defense. And once they started to get on the positive end of things, the Beavers, that just forced Arizona State just in this constant cycle of defense, 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 clear, change, defense, defense, and especially in the second period with that long change, which I don't think we referenced today. That's going to be really hard if you're constantly on the back end to be able to get out of it and get any sort of offense going. And the Beavers took that to their advantage, and they just played throughout that second period with confidence and with vigor, and their goaltender didn't have to make too many saves.
Well, folks, as the players re-energize, we will as well. In just about 15 minutes, we'll bring you live third period of action. And at the end of 2 periods, it's Minot State 5, Arizona State 2. This is Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Hello everyone and welcome back to Arizona State Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I am Brett Vaughn alongside Now Cooper as we get settled for the last period of the weekend for Arizona State. It was 2-2 at the end of one. Minot State with 3 goals unanswered in the second period, making it a 5-2 game as we come into this third period with 20 minutes left. And folks, this third period is brought to you by Cold Beer and Cheeseburgers. With numerous Valley locations, stop in to watch NCAA March Madness or the Masters coming up at your neighborhood bar and grill, Cold Beer and Cheeseburgers. It'll be the draw won by Arizona State, as they are on the man advantage for about 1 minute and 35 seconds, carrying over from the second period. Geely playing a little bit of a hot potato as Jack York couldn't handle it. Moore skates it behind his own net, fakes the pass and leaves it for Studioso. Pass behind Klein. Kurtz comes out to play it and clears it all the way down. Not too much in a rhythm for Arizona State so far. Retrieving it first, so is Jake Geely. Geely trying to pivot around and gets thrown to the ice. Gets it right back. Klein, wrist shot on through some traffic. Kurtz was able to stick the glove hand up. Geely been knocked around on this shift a couple of times and is heading to the bench. Under 30 seconds left on the minor penalty to Fournier. Larson loses all of his speed as his puck was poked away by Swedlow. Studioso collects it and enters in the zone. Studioso pushing up against Johnson. Johnson is able to matriculate the puck all the way down and force Moore to play it. Moore slides it over to Demon, and the Beavers killed the remainder of that 2-minute minor, and we're back to 5-on-5 play. Cross-ice dump from Jet Larson. Looked like he lost an edge. Davis Sheldon skates it back in his own zone. Robertson passing up to Wowrick. Wowrick with speed, cutting through. Wowrick with a shot and hits the post. Building up a lot of his speed in the neutral zone. Wowrick was able to beat Moore, but it was to the post. Studioso intercepts the pass. Backhands that, but a little too high for Cotton. Bollifer, hard rim around. Moore lets it go to York. York loses control of it, and the shot from Navrat gets deflected away from the net. Sullivan, indirect pass, allows Arizona State to finish off a change. Aiden Sullivan throws it back down. Cotton wasn't there, though. Up from the Beavers, Metcalf on the right side. Metcalf faking, looking for the redirection from Lowe, wasn't able to get it, and it's paddled away by Moore in the corner. Lowe able to come out with the puck from the scrum. On his backhand side, cycles it down to Navrat. York will paste him to the boards. Sullivan behind Cotton, gets it right back. Dumps it all the way down 200 feet and goes for that change.
And Brett, you mentioned not being able to get into a rhythm. The Sun Devils, they got the early power play, and even though there haven't been a whole lot of whistles this period, just very choppy, back and forth, not a whole lot of chances, good chances either way. A lot of one and dones.
Donovan Myers for Arizona State finally gets down to the neutral zone. Geely gets thrown down again, this time by Neufeld. Long going D-to-D, Kowalchuk gets his pass picked off by Fournier. Klein Doesn't get enough mustard on it, kept in by Longy. Longy skating across the line and gets pressured out into the neutral zone. And Minot State has to tag up. Back in they go, Alex Bechtold. Bechtold loses an edge and also lost the puck, but he gets it right back. Drew Carter meets Lester in the corner. Jacob Lester to Palumbo, gets it right back. Lester kicks it out to Elizade, but just out of reach. Elizade trying to cough up the turnover off of Longy. Minot State playing it behind their own net. Guaidos to the right side is Swedlow. Swedlow. But it's Sischuk, and the rebound to Guaidos. A little too hot for him to handle. Off the rebound from Moore. Two Sun Devil players collide in front. Sischuk didn't elect to shoot, ended up passing it and gets taken away. Puck still in the offensive zone, though, for the Beavers. Guaidos drops it down the half wall. Killian gets it. Killian puts the wrist shot on. Moore can't handle the rebound. Palumbo. It's like both players are gnawing at each other. Lester and Killian. And the linesmen come in to break it up.
Brett, we mentioned earlier in the game when we referenced John Studioso having quite a bit of bite, not as much bark. Lester and the Minot State Beaver player getting quite a bit of bark at each other, but not a whole lot of bite. And you know, over the weekend I caught a little bit of that Westminster Dog Show. That was some riveting stuff. And Brett, I think what we really need to see Arizona State do is do their best impression of a golden retriever and get in the corners and get after the puck, retrieve it, get it up to the forwards, and just generate some offense and see what sticks.
Klein to the zone. Work. Navrat on the left side gets the puck under control. Navrat with the wrist shot on, hits the blocker of Moore. Puck just pops out into the neutral zone. That'll allow Arizona State and Minot State to go for a change. Foreman taking his way in. Metcalf fanned on the one-timer shot. Metcalf pops back out by himself. Metcalf with the shot. Rebound in front. Foreman can't get a handle on it. Backhand pass. Gloving it down is Foreman. Now over to Carter. Carter up to the point. Foreman kicks up to the stick. Wrist shot on. Moore able to easily see that and make the save with no traffic in front.
Impressive work from the defensive pair there, Brett. Much like a hurting group, just in front of the net, forcing the Minot State Beavers out of the way. Easy save for Bronson Moore. He has eyes on it from start to finish.
Yep, that puck definitely looked like a frisbee to him making that save. Aiden Sullivan on the right side for Arizona State. Can't get around Johnson. Johnson using that big frame of his. Indirect pass gets intercepted by Hurl. Sullivan pushed up to the glass by Johnson. Sullivan still has it though. Sullivan working against Johnson again. They've been going at it in this 30 seconds in the Minot State zone. Sullivan still has it, working hard. It finally gets thrown down by Johnson. No call on the play. Metcalf. Metcalf almost lost it right in front of his goaltender, Kurtz. And Arizona State's going to go for a change. Both teams are back, and we're back to 5-on-5 play. Moore leaves it behind his net for the defenseman Adams. Arizona State again having trouble in their own zone, trying to break it out. Robertson really attentive on the puck. Puck will come out. Myers does just enough to push it out. Klein trying to get that puck under control. He will with the soft backhand chip and will try to retrieve it. Neufeld brushes Klein off to the side, and now breaking out with it is Robertson. Kept in by Wowrick. Wowrick still has the puck. Now behind the net of Moore. Puck rims around, finds Geely. Geely touches it up to Callahan. Callahan cutting through the middle. Callahan gets that puck back. Still has it. Callahan looking for it, goes down to one knee. Puck just gets out into the neutral zone of Studioso, can't react in time. Demon mohawking his way through the neutral zone. Demon trying to cut through and beat two players, and Robertson was able to take the puck away. Beavers going the other direction. Bechtold trying to burn Studioso, but he had no clearance, so he has to turn back around. Jousting for in the corner. Callahan over to Jet Larson. Larson finds Demon's right skate. Gets it right back from him. Nice sneak around. Larson with the shot on. And was able to be tracked by Kurtz. And we'll have a stoppage in play with 10:30 left in this third period.
Larson just trying to domesticate the goaltender Kurtz there as he threw one right in the middle. Told him to sit down, and a good job swallowing it and getting a save. Only the 20th shot on the net tonight for Arizona State.
Draw win by the Beavers. Bollifer, his own zone, can't get it out. That's Kowalchuk's being forced out by the Beavers. Now it'll be Aiden Sullivan. Sullivan just evades a hit from Killian. Metcalf in the neutral zone. Metcalf down to Navrat. Navrat cutting through. Passing play to Lowe by himself on the right side, and Moore is able to make the stop. 3-on-2 play developed for the Beavers with a quick transition in the neutral zone. Rhett Lowe all by himself, but Moore is just a little bit better. Lowe centers that in front. That puck will squirt out into the neutral zone. Kowalchuk trying to get that puck to settle down. York forces up the strong side. Arizona State enters in the zone illegally and will have to tag up. Behind his net is Killian. Killian now to Bollifer. Bollifer up in the neutral zone. Finds Rhett Lowe on the left side. Lowe gets it back from Metcalf. They exchange once more. Centers in front. Says Chuck. Just couldn't find the puck in time and couldn't get the shot off. Now he does, and it's blocked away by Adams. Lowe. Nobody on him. Tight turning around. Says Chuck. Says Chuck moving around. Killing at the point. Right side Swedlow. Swedlow's pass gets deflected from a defensive stick by Adams. Adams. Couple quick stick handles will allow him to chip that puck in the neutral zone and get a quick change. Studioso, a hard chip off the glass, and Lester's able to glove it down. Lester loses it in the neutral zone. Now it'll be Guaidos in the offensive zone. Swedlow on the right side. Swedlow with his head up. Moves over to Bollifer. Bollifer stepping into the play, trying to go over that short angle shot. Not too much power on it, and an easy save for Moore. And folks, we'll get you your out-of-town schedule brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airlines of the ACHA. For Arizona State, it's going to be 2 games down in Tucson next weekend on the 22nd and 24th. And we'll be back here in Tempe on March 2nd and 3rd against U of A. Puck doesn't make it all the way down to the goal line, so no icing. Coming up back the other way is Foreman. Foreman trying to get around the Arizona State player. Studioso keeps him to the outside. Klein going the other way. Some end-to-end action now in this third period. Klein backhands that one behind the net. Long throws it in front. Puck's bouncing around. 2 Arizona State players were there, but they just couldn't corral it. Now going the other way. It's a 4-on-1. The shot on, and Moore makes the save on the blocker side. Geely Can get that puck out. Long fans on the clear. Klein's trying to work for it. Studioso, he pops Wowrick into the boards. And Studioso now slows it down in his own zone. Pass behind Demon. And it's turned over to the Beavers. Studioso flips it up a little too high and goes off the ceiling. The shot clock right now, 48-21, on almost a 2-1 advantage for the Beavers. Puck just gets down in the neutral zone. Drew Carter trying to stick handle with it. Beavers have to retrieve back in their own zone and regroup. Carter gets the puck. Going for the cross-ice pass behind Fournier. Kowalchuk now for the Sun Devils, reverses it to York. York looking for the stretch pass, finds Sullivan, no icing on the play. The goaltender Kurtz is going to come out aggressively and cover the puck. .6:25 left in this third period. It's a 5-2 Minot lead, and Arizona State has not been able to put in any sort of dent into this lead in this third period. Puck down in deep. Cotton trying to find it. Sullivan trying to center that for Hurl, gets taken away. Metcalf on the left side. Hits the brakes. Throws it down low. To Low. Spins off the check from York, but loses the puck in the process. Cotton able to poke that in the neutral zone. Ends up being turned over. Kowalchuk trying to get there. He gets a hooking call on Low, and it's going to be a delayed call on the play. Sullivan trying to get a handle of it. Centers it in front, but it'll get touched by Killian, and we'll have a stoppage in play with a power play opportunity for the Sun Devils.
And once again, the captain doing some good work for Arizona State behind the play, drawing another hooking call. As it seems like it's been Zachary Kowalchuk and everybody else the last few periods, as he's been laying down a great example for everyone else to pick up. Unfortunately, the Beavers have been playing just that much better.
Kowalchuk's point shot misses high. Guaidos can't clear with the flying stick from Kowalchuk. Slap shot on and it bounces, took a couple hops, rolling on edges, ended up hitting the left post. Geely coming in again, it's a 2-on-2. Geely drops it for York. York wrist shot on! And Kurtz moving to his right, ended up sticking his left arm out there to glove it and make the stop.
And we already gave Kurtz the Devil's Advocate save of the game, but Brett, we might have to go back and give him a second one. That was a good shot. That one coming on the drop pass as York threw it to the right as he skated to the left. That's a tough save for a goaltender to go back against the grain and try to glove it down. Clearly he did his pregame stretching routine.
Klein mishandled the puck. That'll allow Foreman to clear it all the way down. Moore having some trouble with the puck. He's able to settle it down to Miller. Klein wheels around his own net. Fournier has to get back into play as he blew a tire in the offensive zone. Holston couldn't get a handle on it. Arizona State has to regroup. Adams slows it down, waits for the change. Now that he has some time, he'll skate it up. Miller. Under 40 seconds left on the man advantage for Arizona State. Firing it across ice is Adams. Holston trying to center that. Taken away by Foreman. Kowalchuk trying to win that race to the puck. Moore has to be careful with it. dangerously able to move it over to the corner. Adams asking for a change as he's tired near the end of his shift. Miller able to do a move around Sheldon. Now he kicks it out to Demon. Demon cuts in. Hurl off the bench. Hurl with the wrist shot on, and that misses. He had a wide open opportunity in the high slot and just couldn't have the accuracy. A minor penalty to Rhett Lowe on the hooking call is now expired, and he's back out there. Cotton backhands that in front. Couldn't connect and find Hurl. Wowrick trying to push it up against the boards and move it along forward. Cotton able to create the turnover. Cotton with the wrist shot on. His shot gets blocked by the stick of Johnson. Hurl tries to get another opportunity. Cotton comes back around again, and he finally gets the shot off and off the stick of the goaltender, Kurtz. Hurl trying to make a decision with it. He'll chip it all the way down as he's a little bit tired near the end of his shift. Bollifer backhands that into the zone. Moore elects not to play it. Puck centered and right in front, and Moore had to be athletic with a couple saves. As that puck was just hopping up in midair, and he had to be careful with how he's going to attack that puck as Wowrick was coming in for the offensive chance. .246 left in the period. It's a 5-2 Minot State lead. And for Arizona State, they're really going to have to be aggressive with it. And it looks like we're going to be having a timeout for head coach Tate Green to talk it over with his team.
And Brett, while this seems to be mostly decided at this point, I like the decision by the coaching staff for Arizona State to call the timeout, calm everybody down. You're not going to be able to get the 2 points out of this game. We know that already. But what you can do is build positive steps forward and make smart plays and execute specific zone exits and face-off draws. I mean, we've seen Arizona State get beat multiple times the last few home series on set face-off plays. And really, that just comes down to execution and a will to beat the guy on the other end of the ice and win a battle. And I think that's the message that they're delivering right now is go out and win the battle the last 2 minutes and 46 seconds and build some positivity to go into the series against U of A, because you know that's going to be a tough-spirited affair down in Tucson.
Callahan can't exit the zone on this left side. He'll try once more. It'll go through the legs of Myers, but out into the neutral zone. And the Beavers just dump it back in. Callahan, hard off the boards, finds Killian. Killian, D-to-D with Bollifer. Gets it back again. Stretch pass finds Rhett Lowe. Lowe stops, but York with the active sticks able to take it away from him. Puck bouncing around as the side service has been chewed up today. Demon with speed, beating two Minot players. Has it, centers it in front. As on the backhand, still loose. And not being able to shoot the puck was Levi Holston. Dangerously out in front. Carter onto the breakaway. Moore makes an aggressive way and a save to make that shot stop. Jet Larson throws in the corner. Foreman with no pressure is able to look up ice. Carter can't get around Miller. Walchuk gets it in the zone. Holston can't let the stick of Foreman. Studioso trying to pick that puck out, but he's pinned to the wall. Carter, Aaron pass up to the point, allows Arizona State a free exit. Under 60 seconds left in this third period. It's a 5-2 Minot State lead. Foreman, high chip off the glass and goes off the ceiling. Going to be Arizona State offensive draw. Klein tries to win that forward, but it goes right to the goaltender, Kurtz, and we'll have another draw. Puck will find Geely. Hurl gets it in front, but as he was trying to pull the trigger, the puck hopped over his stick. Sheldon trying to move it to Robertson, but out of the reach of him. Sullivan trying to find it, but Sheldon comes out with it. Minot State again going D to D. Cross ice pass in the skates of Sheldon. Bechtold gets the turnover. Bechtold trying to center that in front and then out of the reach of Sheldon. Under 10 seconds left. Bechtold skating through. Pass block from Kowalchuk. Robertson slowing it down. Under 5 seconds now. Robertson just keep it in the corner. And that'll do it here from Oceanside. With the final score being Minot State 5, Arizona State 2. And where it was an even game in that first period, I think what really swayed it, Niall, was that late period goal in the first period to tie the game up at 2, or else it would have been a 2-1 advantage for Arizona State heading into the second period.
Yeah, you could feel the Sun Devils were really confident at the end of that period, and they thought they were going to be walking into the intermission with a lead and getting a chance to play with the lead against a good team. And that goal, we've seen it a few times this year, just mental lapses late in the period, checking out a little too early mentally, and it cost them in the first. And if you take away those goals that Minot State gets late in the first, at the very beginning of the second period, then right now we would be looking at a 3-2 game, a 1-goal game. We certainly would have seen a much different effort had it been a 1-goal game in the third than the 3-goal differential, as that just kind of got in the head of the Sun Devils, and they never really felt that they had a leg up or a chance to even get back in the game at all. And it just goes to show you, just executing the little things and having timely goals is all that Minot State needed to come out with the win.
As we welcome you inside our El Boy Alberto Beef Jerky press box, I am Brett Vaughn. Arizona State saluting the fans out here at Oceanside Ice Arena after their 3-game homestand has concluded. For Minot State, they showed true character and a true mark of really not taking things for granted, because they knew coming into the game tonight that Arizona State, and into this weekend, that Arizona State was a team on paper not as good as they were, but they didn't take anything for granted and really won the right to win both of these hockey games. As I welcome in my partner as well now, Cooper. And now for Minot State, where do you think their chances are going to be in terms of a national title bid this season?
I think they're going to be really good. Minot State early in the season didn't come out with quite as much punch as we expected. I mean, last year they only had a couple losses on the entire season, and they were an absolute machine, a wrecking ball going throughout the entire ACHA. This year, a little bit slower of a start, but you see on this weekend, they come out of a trip to the desert. UNLV, Arizona State, they finished 3-0, some very convincing wins in all 3 games. I think Minot State has everything you need. They've got size, they've got speed, they've got skill, and they've got some timely goaltending when they've needed it. Their defense has shown that with a good forecheck, timely sticks defensively, and constant offensive pressure, that they can really take it to you the whole game. And we saw that tonight in perfect execution on this matinee affair, and the Beavers looked really good.
For Arizona State, looking over this whole 3-game weekend as a recap, coming in with Jamestown, and they had the lead in that hockey game as well. They ended up losing in overtime against a good hockey team in Jamestown. And then even coming into tonight's game, they had a 2-1 lead in the first period against this top-ranked Minot State team. And for them, it was just being in contention. They didn't really seem so sure of themselves and ended up losing out to some of the better teams in those key areas, key moments of games when it's so tightly contested.
Yeah, the Jimmies came into town, a top 25 team. They look good. A 3-2 overtime loss. That was a tough one. Just a few small mistakes here and there was all that swayed it from Arizona State to the Jimmy side. And as you mentioned tonight, you know, this was close. This was close early, pardon me, this afternoon, I should say. It was a 2-1 game. They had the lead in the first period, and it's not something that we've seen many times, but we have seen it lately, is letting in that goal either late in the period or early in the period. You know, anything inside the minute, bookend of the intermission is something that coaches hate to see. And unfortunately, we saw 2 of those in succession tonight for Minot State, which really sway the momentum of the entire affair.
Well, partner, it was a good, fun weekend here from Oceanside Ice Arena. Our next Division I broadcast is going to be March 2nd and 3rd as they host University of Arizona Wildcats. But we are also proud to announce that we are going to be broadcasting live ACHA Division II West Regionals here from Oceanside Ice Arena in Tempe, Arizona. And you'll be able to catch all of those games on Arizona State Hockey YouTube.
It's going to be a great affair. We're going to have Texas El Paso's out here. We're going to have a friend of the program, Danny Roy, and GCU are going to be playing in the affair. A lot of top teams, a lot of hockey over 4 days. It's going to be really exciting, and we hope that every single one of you come and tune in because that will surely be a special treat.
Folks, we'd like to say thank you so much for tuning in, as well as thank you to the people that helped make this broadcast possible. We'd like to say thank you to our executive producer tonight, which was Kira Vaughn. Our engineer on site was Doc Cooper. Our cameraman tonight was John Wayne. And our statistician tonight was Justine Cooper. I am Brett Vaughn from my partner Niall Cooper from Oceanside Ice Arena, reminding you of tonight's final score. The Minot State Beavers 5, the Arizona State Sun Devils 2. We say thank you so much for tuning in, and so long from Oceanside Ice Arena. Smell the roses, everyone.